Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you have come across this video, I am here to chat all things transformation about my glow up that I've had over the last what has been now year and a half, but the main majority of my glow up has kind of been really in the last year. I haven't made a video on this yet, but I figured now is a very good time. Figured why not share my 7 tips to help you achieve your own glow up yourself. If you are new here, my name is Emily Randall. I coach females online to help them achieve the body of their dreams. I help them transform their relationship with food, with their body, with their mindset, so they can truly become the best version of themselves. I'm so passionate about it, and I hope that you take something away from this video yourself after hearing my glow up journey. So I've taken some notes, but I guess I wanted to start with why my glow up journey came about. So in January 2024, I was on a kind of like a work trip holiday to Thailand. And the minute I got there, I knew before I went I wasn't feeling in the best headspace anyway. A year before that, my dad had passed away from cancer. So I was definitely dealing with a lot emotionally. And that whole year leading up to that trip, I just wasn't taking care of my body or my mind. So going on that trip, I was actually not in a great headspace at all. I didn't want to be there. I felt so uncomfortable in my body. It was probably the first holiday that I've ever been on where I really didn't want to be in a bikini or in a swimsuit. I really didn't want any photos taken. I actually never posted any of those photos from that trip until long after I got back and I actually had the transformation to do the before and afters. But yeah, wasn't in a great headspace. And when I got back from that trip, I signed up with my coach Jasmine because I just knew I needed accountability. I knew I needed somebody to pull me out of this really, what was at the time like quite a dark place. I'm a very positive person, so I don't ever feel like when people say they hit rock bottom, like I guess that was for me, was my rock bottom. I just felt so shit about myself and I knew something needed to change. I knew I needed somebody to keep me accountable. And was I nervous? 100%. Was I worried that maybe I couldn't do it? A little bit. I also knew because I looked up to Jasmine so much that the fear of not doing the plan and checking with her every week, if I didn't do it, I'd be so embarrassed. And that for me is what I needed. I needed to be held accountable to somebody who could actually kick my butt in the right direction and get me the results that I wanted. Even though I do it as a job for loads of women, when it comes to doing it yourself, like most people, they put themselves last on the priority list. And yeah, I just needed somebody to take me and say, this is what you need to do, follow this, it'll work. And it 100% did work for sure. So how did I actually go from looking like this to this in the last year and a half? I'm about to get into it. Number one, and this is probably the biggest key to unlocking any transformation that you will ever do, and it's mindset. I had no idea how much my own mindset and my own beliefs had kept me stuck for so long. I really had no idea until I started to really do some deep inner work and start to unlock those self-limiting beliefs. I had no idea how much that was actually preventing me from getting the results that I wanted. So mindset for me is 100% number one. You will not achieve the results that you want unless you start to really change your beliefs around your goal. You will never achieve the results that you want if your mindset isn't one of somebody who actually fully believes that you can get there. And it's crazy how much people will sign up to a goal, but because they don't deep down truly believe it, they will never get there. Because I did this for years. Would say, oh, I'm going to do photo shoot, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. But because I didn't fully believe it at the time, I never quite got there. And that always kept me stuck until I changed that belief. And there was actually one book that my best friend Sarah got me. She gave me this book when I first came back from Thailand and I didn't read it. I didn't read it for about 9 months until I then split from my partner at the time. And that book literally changed my whole mindset around the way I looked at myself, the way I spoke to myself, the things I believed about myself. And I always recommend this book to all of my clients. It's called You Are Powerful by Becky Rabin. And yeah, like I said, it just completely shifted something in me. I know a lot of people say sometimes it'll be something someone said or it'll be a quote that someone's read. But for me, this book really opened my mind to see that actually I was in control of changing my future. Your thoughts create your reality. And it really took for that book to awaken something inside of me to be like, you are in control. How you speak to yourself, how you see yourself, if you start speaking to yourself more positively, like you would your best friend, and you actually start to fully believe deep down that the results that you want, you can actually achieve, everything clicked. It was actually crazy how quick it changed. Yeah, when I look back now, it was literally like a switch had flipped and that was it. I woke up, I don't know, I just woke up and felt completely different. And the way I viewed myself from then onwards was so different. And that was the difference between me actually then achieving my goal, changed the game. Because I fully believed deep down that I could achieve the goal, I then actually did. And it still blows my mind now that it was a book that did that, but hence why I recommend it to all of my clients. So if you hadn't read it and you're feeling like you need that push to actually believe in yourself, go and get the book. I will link it in the description below. And something that I always say to my clients when they're going through any sort of transformation is that you need to fully start to embody, think, act, and become the person you want to be. The best way and the fastest way to get to your goal and to get to that version of you that you want to become is to start thinking, acting, and showing up like her. Think about the routine that she has, think about the daily habits that she does, think about the food that she eats, the way that she dresses, the way that she speaks to herself, and start embodying and aligning yourself with those habits, because the sooner you do that, the sooner you will get to that version of yourself. It sounds woo-woo, but trust me when I say it works. It 100% works. So for instance, if the version of you want to become makes an effort every day with her makeup, do that. If the version of you goes to the gym 4 times a week because she wants to be fit and toned, go and start doing that. Go to the gym 4 times a week. It really is as simple as that. Start showing up and acting like the version of you want to become, and you will become her so much quicker. You need to align your habits with the version of you want to become. Number 2, I locked in my nutrition. For years, when I was in a calorie deficit, when I was trying to lose weight, I would look at my calories as how can I get as many treats or snacks into my day as possible. Whereas this time when I started my plan with Jasmine, I was really focusing on high protein, high volume, nutrient dense meals that would keep me fuller for longer, that would nourish my body, that would give my body the vitamins and the nutrients that it needed. And because of that, because I started eating real food and cut out as much processed crap as I could, I then ended up snacking less. I ended up finding it easier to stick to the calorie deficit because I was eating foods that was actually filling me up. And those foods were giving me energy. They weren't making me bloat out. They weren't making me feel tired. The food that I was eating was actually nourishing my body. Of course, I still had some processed food. I would still have the odd protein bar. I would still have a Coke Zero. Like I'm not saying I cut out everything, but the majority of the foods I was having, 80% of the foods I was having were nutrient dense meals. And another thing that I did that I again used to do in the past was I was actually properly tracking and being 100% honest with myself. For years, I would say, oh, I'm tracking my calories, but I absolutely was not. I would track what I wanted to track, and then I would have the odd biscuit and not track it. I would start my day off on plan, and then I would go out for dinner and again, not track it. Whereas this time, because I knew that Jasmine was watching me, because I was accountable to her, and because I knew she would know if I was lying, I 100% was accountable and honest with myself. And again, that was a big belief that I had to break. That for years I'd said to myself, you're just a big foodie girl, you just have to have a sweet treat. And then I actually changed that thought and said, actually, no, I nourished my body with whole foods, with high protein, high volume meals. Yes, if I want to have something that I'm craving, I can have it if it fits into my calories, but I'm not just going to fill my calories with shitty processed food that isn't going to have me fill up, that's going to make it a lot harder to stick to calorie deficit and isn't actually going to nourish my body at all. It's not going to make me feel good. And when I did have social events, like I didn't guilt trip myself. I think that's another thing that often people tend to do, is that they think they have to have this all or nothing approach. You absolutely don't. You need to have a flexible dieting approach in order for you to actually sustain it as a lifestyle. So stop thinking that you're going to follow this set plan for, say, 8 weeks or 12 weeks. Get your head into the mindset of you're changing your nutrition and your meals to be something that you'll follow forever. Because when you follow that 80-20 approach, you never feel restricted, you never feel like you can't have anything that you want, and you are going to find it so much easier to stick to the calorie deficit 100%. Number 3, a big one for me was training. I'm just looking at my notes every time I look down. Was definitely training, and training with intent. When I say that, I mean every time I went to the gym, I put in 100% of what I could that day. Now, that doesn't mean that I went to the gym and every time I went, I was absolutely smashing my workouts. Of course, hormones, where you are in your cycle, stress, sleep will all affect your workouts, and sometimes you just can't give your full 100%. But even if I was only feeling 50% that day of what I could normally do, I would still be giving 100% of that 50%, if that makes sense. I would always show up with the intent I was going to go there, absolutely smash my workout to the best of my ability, so that every rep I was doing, it was intentional. For years, I just go through the motions. I would be doing 12 reps and not even pulling a face. Whereas now, every time I go and do a workout, I am pulling an ugly face. Like, I am pulling a very unattractive face because I'm lifting with intent. I'm lifting to build muscle, to basically tear the muscle and grow it. That's the only way you are going to create that toned, sculpted body, is to train with intent. If you're going in the gym and just doing 12 reps and not even breaking a sweat and your face doesn't change, regardless of how much Botox you've had, you are not lifting heavy enough. In order to see change, you really have to be lifting as heavy as you possibly can for those reps. So for example, if you have 3 sets of 10 reps, every set of those 10 reps, rep number 9 and 10, you really want to be pulling the ugliest faces. Think of the ugliest face you can pull. If your face doesn't look like that when you're training, you're not lifting heavy enough. So bear that in mind. If you're going to the gym and you're not seeing results, it's more than likely that you are not pushing yourself as hard as you actually can. And also tied in with the training side of things, I would have a step goal that I was set that I would hit regardless of how I was feeling that day. At the end of the day, steps you can do anywhere, and I just made it non-negotiable that I had to hit 10. I think it was started off at 10k, then I think it went up to 12k, and as I've gone through shoot prep, sometimes the step goal has got more, but if I've got a step goal, I'm going to hit it regardless. I have no excuse not to hit it. I think maybe there was 1 or 2 days where I was slightly under and I would make it up on the next day. There was no way I was going to go to bed and not have hit my step goal. That was a non-negotiable for me. Number 4 was daily habits. So for me, these included hitting a water intake of at least 2 litres of water a day. I'd say on average now, I'm looking at my water here, I probably drink like 3 to 4 litres. It's so good for your skin. It's so good for your gut, for helping flush all the toxins out of your body, for hydrating you, for helping your brain function. I don't understand how people don't drink water, but for me, again, this became an absolute non-negotiable that I wasn't not going to hit my water intake. And I also prioritise sleep. Sleep is so underrated, especially when you are on a fat loss journey. If you are not prioritizing sleep, you are going to find it 10 times harder to stick to your calorie deficit because your hormones the next day are going to be elevated and telling you that you're hungry. That is just what happens when you don't get enough sleep. So for me, I made sure I was getting at least 6, if not 7 hours of sleep a night in order to make my life as easy as possible to stay in that calorie deficit and also have more energy. Yes, training is so important, but rest is also super important. That is the time when your body actually recovers and grows. If you are not getting enough good quality sleep, it is going to make your life 10 times harder when you're going through a transformation. Okay, number 5. This is probably one of my most favourite ones and something that I just wish I'd done years ago. But this one is self-love. By that, I mean everything self-love. I really poured into myself. Like I said, when I came back from that trip in Thailand, that was like the first from Thailand to October. So January to the October was like my first glow up. And then the second one, which was actually probably the way bigger transformation, which was October 2024 to March 2025 this year, that was probably the biggest transformation, because I'd taken everything I'd learned from that first one and almost like 10x'd it on the second one. Yeah, that's where things really ramped up for me in terms of a glow up. So number 5, like I said, is all about self-care. So I poured into myself in every aspect, and that included taking care of my skin, that included making sure my hair looked nice all the time because that made me feel good. That included always wearing makeup. For me, I am very self-conscious of my skin. It doesn't always have the best time. It's definitely linked massively to stress for me, and I was going through a very stressful time, going through a breakup. So for me, I wore makeup to the gym, anywhere, because it made me feel 10 times better. I always feel like I'm way more productive when I'm put together, when I've done my hair, when I've done my makeup. I feel like I'm unstoppable. I know it sounds weird, but that is just for me how I work my best. So I always made sure that every single day I poured into myself and made myself look and feel good, because if you feel good on the outside, you'll feel good on the inside, and then that radiates into everything else. I also never stopped getting things like my nails done. Every now and again, I would book myself for a facial or a massage to, again, show myself self-love. And I also really started to change how I spoke to myself. I really tried hard not to speak negatively to myself, and would practice daily affirmations in the mirror. Again, some people might think this is absolutely wacko, but when you speak positively into yourself and speak of positive affirmations to yourself, it honestly can completely change your energy, your state of mind, and how you see yourself. And again, if you aren't doing that and focusing on being negative all the time, you are only going to attract negative things to you. So for me, I was very much the most positive person you could ever come across. People were saying to me, "How are you so positive? You're going through this really toxic breakup, but you are literally glowing." And I was like, because I'm just pouring into myself. I'm not letting any negative energy come into me. If I feel any negative energy now, we're gone. I cut it off. Like, I don't have time for it. So yeah, that for me, massively pouring into myself, speaking to myself in a really positive, upbeat way, reminding myself I'm a boss ass bitch. Like, sometimes you just need to do that for your own state of mind. And I can't tell you how much that has really helped me build confidence in myself, build confidence in my business, in what I do every day. If you're not doing that, girl, you are missing out. Number 6, and this really ties in with the first one, was dressing the part. So when I was in Thailand, and probably the year before that, I obviously wasn't feeling good about myself. I was always dressed in black. I was always dressed in baggy t-shirts. I would go to the gym in leggings or oversized hoodies. I was just always covering up. I just didn't feel great about myself. But when I started to go through my transformation, I really changed the way that I dressed, because again, like hair and makeup does for me, the way I dress really helps me feel good. And as I went through my transformation, I've lost weight, and then I started to feel more and more comfortable with my body. And the things that I wear to the gym now, the me a year and a half ago could have only dreamed that I would wear, the outfits that I wear. I would always see girls on Instagram who looked super cute, had these really cute outfits, like tiny shorts, tiny sports bras, and be like, I want to be like that. I want to dress like that. But I just never felt I had the confidence to. And now I'm one of them. And it's absolutely crazy, the difference between on a certain image here of what I used to dress like to now here. Like, we're very different. We're totally different. So yeah, 100% doing your hair and makeup, dressing the part really helped me to further embody the version of me that I wanted to become. Because like I said, when you look good, you feel good. And for me, fashion has always been a really big part of my life. I studied fashion design at uni. I worked in the fashion industry for a long time. So when I didn't feel good about myself and I was dressing in such a, what I can only describe as an unfashionable way, it really made me feel like I lost my identity. Whereas over the past year, it's been so nice to get back into that girl who I've literally fallen back in love with fashion again, learning how to dress my new body. There's just such a freedom when you can wear whatever you want and feel good. And I wish that every woman experiences that, because life is too short to cover up And for most of us who work so hard in the gym, you want to show it off. So 100% dressing the part really helped me further push along the glow up. And the last one, and again, this is probably a really big one. I feel like they're all big ones, to be honest, but this one, I think a lot of people skip, or maybe they don't see it as being as important as it actually is. But for me, I did not realise how much of a toxic environment I was in until I removed myself. And that can look like physically removing yourself from a situation. That can look like cutting off toxic people out of your life. That can look like blocking people. For me, I have a rule now that anyone who follows me on Instagram, if it's not a female, if it's not a guy who I know personally, or if he's not some sort of relation or connection to a friend of mine, blocking that. I block anyone who has previously hurt me, who I just don't want them to have almost the power to see what I'm doing. Why should that person have access to me? I'm not interested in what you're doing. You're no longer in my life. So therefore, I'm blocking you. And whether some people think that's too much, I don't care. But I honestly think it's the best way to help you detach from people that aren't serving you. If people in your life aren't helping you grow, aren't giving you the love and support that you give back to them, they're not for me. And yeah, I am very savage now. I will just block people that don't serve me. Especially if they're toxic, no, you're being blocked straight away. Like, I just don't have time for it. And instead, I now have way more time to pour into people who I actually truly care about, friends and family who love me, who support me. I keep my circle very small. I only have a very small group of people who I truly trust. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's so important to protect your peace and your energy. And you can only do that by keeping your circle small. So that's my advice. Cut off anyone who is draining you, who is toxic, who when you see them, you end up feeling physically drained because they put all of their negative energy onto you. No, it's not happening. And sometimes it's hard because those people, you think, well, I've been friends with them for years, but people will literally suck your life force energy out of you, and then you can't serve others in the way that you want to. For me, with my coaching job, I pour so much energy into my clients that if I then went and saw a so-called friend who literally drained me even more of my energy and didn't actually hype me up and support me and give me the love back, I'm only going to feel deflated from that conversation. Why would I surround myself with that? I need people to give me the energy back. If you're not giving me the energy back, soz babes, we're done. And it might be savage, but I've felt so much happier from not having those toxic people in my life. So yeah, I'm just saying. And I know it's hard because I'm typically a very big people pleaser, or I used to be. And you then soon realise that actually, like, being the nice person doesn't get you anywhere. Being nice doesn't serve you at all. So yeah, I'm not that I'm a bitch, but I'm just very clear now on who I spend my time with, who I have boundaries with, and who I just don't allow into my life at all. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You will be so much happier when you don't have those people in your life that aren't serving you. And also, I just got really comfortable with saying no to things that don't align with me. So if I didn't want to go to an event, I wouldn't make up an excuse. I would just say no. Like, you don't need to give a reason why you don't want to do something. You're an adult. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to think of an excuse. If you don't want to do something because it doesn't feel aligned with you, don't do it. One other big thing that I learned to really tap into over the last year was listening to my gut. And for me, like, I trust my gut so much now that if something feels off, again, I'm gone. Like, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. If I'm not sure about something, no, we're not doing it. And I think a lot of people should live by that, because we're all too busy trying to please other people that we forget to pour into ourselves. And again, it doesn't serve you, you can't grow. And yeah, you'll find that other people won't actually do that back for you. So stop wasting your time, sis. And I wanted to add in a bonus one because I could probably add in another 50. I'm definitely gonna have to do more. But this last one, again, I think a lot of people massively forget about, is consistency. And I know It's not sexy, it's not exciting, nobody wants to hear that word, but truly you have to be consistent day in, day out. Get those daily habits ticked off if you actually want to see the results that you want. There is no good thinking that you can just do this for 8 weeks or you can just do this for 12 weeks and you're just then going to revert back to what you're doing before. No, get it into your head that if you want to achieve a goal, you're going to have to work on that goal every single day. Is it hard? Yes. Did I always feel motivated on my journey? Absolutely not. But did I still get it done regardless of how I was feeling? 100%. Unless I was on my deathbed, I was still getting my steps in, do my workout if it was programmed, and tracking my calories. There was literally no other magic. It was literally just consistency, like it is with all of my clients who have amazing transformations. It is consistency. You have to accept you need to stick at it for a very long period of time to reap the rewards. But the best part is, through that process, you learn what discipline is, you learn actually how capable you are. Once you've built that discipline, nobody can take it away from you. You build this unshakable confidence in yourself that you can do hard things. And I definitely feel like that is the biggest takeaway I've had from this whole experience, is knowing I can do hard shit, knowing I can do things when I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm happy, when I don't want to, when I'm excited. Regardless of your mood, you still have to get it done. And at the end of the day, the time's going to pass anyway, so you may as well just start now. Get it into your head that you are going to have to tick off these habits every single day, but the reward at the end is so worth it. It spills over into every area of your life, in your business, at work, with your relationships, with family, with everything. And like I said, once you've built that discipline, that confidence, nobody can take it away from you. So just as a recap, my 7 steps to help you glow up are: number 1, mindset. Learning to actually fully believe that you are capable. Number 2 is nutrition, making sure that you are nourishing your body, not just filling your calories with absolute crap. Number 3 is training with intention, so actually going to the gym and pushing your body, not just going through the motions. Number 4 was daily habits, so making sure that you are ticking the non-negotiables off every day. Number 5 is practicing self-care, making sure that you're pouring into yourself and making yourself feel good. Number 6 was style, so dressing like the version of you want to become. Number 7 was energy and cutting out any toxic people or situations that no longer serve you. And the bonus one, number 8, was consistency, doing the work regardless of how you're feeling. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more about my journey and how I got my glow up. I feel like I could literally speak on this for hours because there are so many things I've learned over the last year and a half that really have completely changed my whole mindset, my whole body, my whole business, everything in my life. So if you want more videos like this, let me know, comment below. And if you want a more tailored approach to how you too can get your own glow up under the guidance of myself, all you need to do is click the link in the description below. It has all the details to my consultation form. Fill that out and I'll get back to you, or feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials or my email address. And yeah, hopefully I will see you in the next video.